Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Exodus here. Welcome to another gameplay commentary video. I'm not gonna really commentate on the action that transpires on screen within the game, but rather just talk about different topics that come to mind. So yeah, Fortnite. Do you play it? Do you not? I'm assuming you probably do if you're watching a video like this. Um, I've absolutely loved it. I came to it because I wanted a Battle Royale experience. I'm primarily a console player, so I haven't tried the likes of PUBG or H1Z1 or anything like that on PC. But I have played, a similar style, mode through the Division and their survival mode. And, I always liked watching streams of PUBG and H1Z1 and games like that. And always thought it was, a pretty cool concept and wanted to get into it more. And, once they did add the survival mode to Division, it was something I really thrived in and enjoyed. And, was hoping to get my hands on someday. And this came out, pretty much at random for me. I didn't follow the release of the, initial base game because it didn't really interest me. I know a couple friends that bought it and played it and said they really liked it, but it just didn't interest me. It wasn't a game that was my style. Granted, it was made by the same people that did Gears, and I was, big into Gears. Used to play that competitively, but yeah, this game just didn't, I don't know, tickle my fancy, so to speak, until the Battle Royale version came out, which again, I don't know if many people even knew it was coming out other than the people that were playing it prior, or if it was, just a complete surprise to me, or to everybody else like it was to me. But yeah, it's been awesome. I've had a lot of fun with it. Granted, they've had a couple patches, a couple updates that somewhat changed the game. The most recent one has kind of affected me a bit, and I got to relearn it because they've fiddled with, the sensitivities of the scoping and added a couple new options that have affected, I don't know, just how the game behaves, in my opinion, and so my aim's all thrown off and stuff now again, and I have to find the adjustments I want to, for the ADS and the scoped in versions. So I don't know. But yeah, it's still been a blast. Absolutely love it. PUBG's coming to Xbox soon, supposedly, and I don't know if I'll switch or not. I'll probably definitely check it out, see how I like it. But I don't know. This game's been more than enough to keep me entertained, and I think that as more time goes on, I don't know if they have any plans of adding more maps or adding more stuff to this game, but if they don't, then yeah, I could see myself really being embedded into PUBG, because I know they're going to come out with more maps and and features down the road, and once it's coming out for console as well, they'll implement them over from what they do on the PC. But yeah, I've gotten wins in each mode, the solo, duo, and squads. I'm continuing to get back into the game. I took a while off because I was playing Overwatch a lot again. First time in a long time that I played pretty extensively in a competitive season. I don't know why. I don't know. Like I said, I was a competitive gamer way back when. Actually traveled, doing tournaments all the time, locally, regionally, and nationally. And then, of course, online tournaments with the Halo series, the original trilogy, and then the Gears series, just sort of the first couple games. Then always kind of kept up and stayed in the competitive scene, playing at a high level for a while, even like, Reach and 4, whatever, but I didn't actually, do tournament stuff anymore, so I just didn't have the time. But yeah, this game, these style of games, I hope more people get into the genre because I like to see where it can go. Fortnite's the first one that was made by like a high tier, well-known company that's had successful games in the past. PUBG and all of them and H1Z1 stuff just kind of came out of nowhere. Stemmed from an idea of older game that was within older games, from what I understand. And yeah, it's just a cool concept. If you guys have played all of them, all these BR style games, which one do you like the best? I know they're all different in their own way, and they've all changed over time, which is what I hope doesn't happen to this game. As more and more people play it, there's gonna be more and more input. I hope that the devs just stay true to their vision and keep it how it is, and don't try to alter anything drastic within the landscape of the game, because right now, like I said, it just plays well with the whole building, mining aspects, adding that dimension that isn't in any of the other BRs, on top of just the fact of the gunplay is, difficult enough to not really pick up and be awesome at right away, but not too difficult to, learn over time and get comfortable with to be successful, in a rather quick manner. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in comparison. Like, which one did you prefer? And, which one are you playing the most? Are you looking forward to PUBG on console? If you're on console, do you hope to see more games like this by other companies in different styles? And what are some of your ideas that you would do if you were to make a BR? Like, would you meld all the good aspects from the 3 primary ones that we see, utilized these days between H1Z1, PUBG, and this? Or would you, favor one style over the other if you were to make a brand new one? Or which game universe, that you loved from the past would you like to see implement like a BR style, like Halo universe, Halo style series, Battle Royale, or Gears War style, Mass Effect, something like that. Take gameplay elements and, visuals and how everything behaves and the weapons and stuff from that game and kind of throw them into a BR atmosphere. Would do something like that, or would you just want to start from scratch and just kind of throw something together? Let me know in the comments if you want. To me, I think it would be cool to see, like I said, definitely see more of these, see some original ones, and see some get thrown in from past successful games, because you think about there's other shooters games in the genre, they could easily be implemented into this style of game, in my opinion. You think of games like looter shooters like Borderlands, Destiny, Division, stuff like that. Obviously Division has their own style of BR that wasn't really widely seen or and played, because by the time that it came out, that game pretty much really died out as far as the population was concerned, because there's so many changes, and a lot of the changes were just not to the liking of the people that were playing it. And so I know a lot of people that left. There still is a base of people that play consistently, but I did go back and try playing survival a couple times long before Fortnite came out earlier this year, and there just wasn't hardly anyone that you got matched up with. The games weren't nearly as populated as what it was in the past. You'd see people in the open world and even find people in the dark zone, but like as far as survival is concerned, like there's hardly anybody that was up in there. You could definitely get games, but it wasn't nearly as many as it was on release, and so that was unfortunate, because I think if survival mode came out right away with the game, or at least earlier, much earlier into the game's lifespan, that you would have saw and heard a lot more about it, and maybe it would have helped the lifeline of that game last longer than it did, as far as the masses were concerned. But yeah, as far as, like I said, Division is the only aspect that I had extensive hands-on with, as far as the BR style game was before Fortnite. But yeah, like I said, I could see, those looter shooter style games, Destiny, Borderlands, stuff like that, kind of come into their own and, make a BR portion, kind of like you saw in the past with the Halo series. They did a spin-off with an RTS style game, so those looter shooter games already have the concept in place of, run around getting loot. Just obviously it's more in a progression-based system rather than you drop in and, get it like a BR, and then you play one round and then you start all over again. They could, take their systems that are currently in place and change them up slightly and throw them in, throw them into a BR fashion, because they have the design capabilities of the maps. So for instance, think like Destiny style, they have those patrol areas, whatever else. You just throw a bunch of people in there and let them find stuff, instead of finding engrams or materials or whatever else, like, you saw in D1, or, finding other little aspects in D2. They could be finding the guns and stuff like that, and so on and so forth, to, go forward and play with. And you can even implement, like I said, like Division did, NPCs to be involved in the mix, to loot stuff from them as well, to make things interesting. But I don't know, I like the straight up PvP aspect better, because a lot of times, you don't get the true sense of who's better or who's survived, if you are interacting with, NPC mobs, because then people could use that. I mean, it adds another element of strategy, which is cool, and I think is warranted, in the essence of trying to keep things fresh. But at the same time, it's like when you're in a battle royale game, you want to know who's the best based on the person to person environment, not like someone coming along and taking advantage of a weaker player because they were engaged in against NPCs, or the NPCs weakened the person and then they ran away from them, and then all of a sudden another player was able to come around and take advantage of that. But I just don't think that should be ever implemented into a battle royale personally. But at the same time, like, that is out there to do. I mean, like I said, it worked in the Division for a while, but again, like I said, it's not like that took off either. So whether it was, again, the exposure, the time it was released, or just people didn't enjoy it, I don't know. So yeah, like, I could just see other shooter games really settling into this genre. And again, there's plenty of creative people out there to be able to mold their own little versions of this genre as well, to the game, into their own game. So yeah, I don't know. Again, Fortnite's been a pleasant surprise. I hope they continue to add to it. I'd like to see more maps. I like to see, if they did do a larger map, to add some sort of transportation. But at the same time, this style where it's all on foot is more to my liking, because again, with ammo being kind of scarce at times, you don't want to worry about wasting the ammo on vehicles and stuff like that. You want to just be able to, spend it on the players, because then you don't want to have that situation where, one player's running on that ammunition because someone else found a vehicle prior to them, and in order to get them out of the vehicle or whatever, you got to break the vehicle, destruct the vehicle first in order to engage the person. By the time they do that, all the other one person's out of ammo, and the other person just come out, and it's an uneven, unfair battle at that point. But yeah, I like to see more maps, maybe some more environmental effects. Add weather. Right now they got day-night cycle, stuff like that within this map, which is awesome. But maybe add stuff like PUBG's doing with snow, rain, fog, whatever else. Just kind of keep things fresh, keep things exciting. When you do implement new maps, maybe keep this map exactly how it is, and then when you do release other maps, be able to implement those weather correlated themes within those, and maybe even add new materials to build with, and make stuff with, and just kind of change up that forging aspect of how you go about building things and editing things, for materials with the theme, with whatever theme comes in line with the map. So like, say there's like a desert map, and you have more, you have stuff correlated to that's in the area, or you have like a Hawaiian type map, this and that or whatever. And so obviously the trees look all different, all that stuff's all act different. So maybe the different textures on the building materials, and different building materials just in general for the theme of the maps that would come out. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Just to wind down, I'll kind of commentate on the gameplay here. Obviously, you can see it's just a 1v1 situation. At this point, I didn't know where the person was, so I just built that just this monumental base to try to get high ground so I could see people. And obviously, you saw it worked out for the last kill. This kill, I was still trying to, like I said, I wanted to get the high ground so I could see the whole circle and be able to pinpoint where the person was. He made the mistake of shooting me first. So I was able to spot kind of the direction he was going into. And from there, you know, it was just kind of like a game of chess, you know, who was going to, you know, just win the battle. He gave away his position, so that was nice. I obviously had to move to the circle since the storm was closing in. I didn't want to take any additional damage. I still kind of didn't know fully where he was until he started shooting at me again, which thankfully for me, I didn't get hit initially, so I was able to just pinpoint where he was and have a, you know, straight up 1v1 battle. He was closing in on me, so I had no choice but to run forward and risk him shooting at me while I'm running. Thankfully he didn't. He kind of retreated back. And at this point, I'm trying to wonder where he is. And then I see him on the corner of my eye behind that bush. And then just boom, end the game. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.